They say everything is bigger in Texas, and that includes its mysteries. Beyond the rodeos and city lights, there's a dark Texas, a state where the laws of physics seem to bend and where the past refuses to stay buried. From unexplained lights dancing in the Marfa desert to third-kind encounters in the 19th century. From disappearances that have left families waiting for decades to creatures lurking under forgotten bridges. Get ready, because today we are crossing the border of the rational. These are the 10 most enigmatic and terrifying mysteries of the Lone Star State. Are you ready for what's coming? In the heart of downtown, Dallas stands the majestic Adolphus Hotel, an architectural gem that hides one of the saddest and most terrifying stories in Texas. The legend centers on the 19th floor, where it is said that the spirit of a jilted bride wanders eternally through the grand hallways. The story tells of a young woman in the 1930s who was waiting for the happiest day of her life, but her fiancé never showed up at the altar. Broken by humiliation and overwhelming grief, the young woman took only in the hotel that very same night. Since then, guests have reported hearing the sound of inconsolable crying coming from the empty corridors. Others claim to have seen a woman dressed in an antique wedding gown floating near the elevators or standing at the foot of their bed in pitch darkness. Hotel staff have reported lights turning on by themselves and heavy footsteps echoing when no one else is around. It is an eternal reminder of a love that turned into a nightmare, forever trapped within the luxurious rooms of the Adolphus. Many believe her soul is still waiting for the groom who never came, making the 19th floor a place of chilling melancholy and restless spirits. In Williamson County, there's a road surrounded by ancient trees that holds a legend that has terrified generations, Hairy Man Road. The story dates back to the days of the settlers, when a young boy got lost during a storm while his caravan was crossing the creek. Alone and left to his fate, the boy did not die. He grew up wild in the woods, becoming a hermit man covered in thick, dirty hair. It is said that he hated the intrusion of travelers and would hide in the trees to jump onto passing carriages. Although many see it as a simple folktale, sightings of a dark and extremely fast humanoid figure have persisted into the modern era. Local drivers avoid stopping in that area at night, fearing that the hairy man is still there, protecting his territory with an animal fury that time has been unable to calm. Whether he was a real person or a forest spirit, his presence remains a chilling part of the local landscape, waiting for those who dare to travel his road after the sun goes down in the dark. In the bed of the Paluxy River, near Glen Rose, science and mystery meet in a head-on collision. This place is world famous for its perfectly preserved dinosaur tracks. But in the 1930s, a find emerged that shocked the scientific community. Footprints that appeared to be human, right next to those of prehistoric giants. This would suggest that humans and dinosaurs walked together, something that contradicts millions of years of geological evolution. Although many experts claim that these shapes are simply natural erosions or dinosaur tracks altered by the passage of time, others argue that they are evidence of a hidden history that we do not want to accept. The controversy has attracted researchers from all over the world, and although exhaustive studies have been carried out, the debate remains ignited. Is it a misinterpretation of nature, or are we seeing the trail of a truth that would change everything we know about our origins? The mystery of the river continues to flow, challenging our logic and the very foundations of modern paleontology today. Located just steps from the historic Alamo in San Antonio, the Emily Morgan Hotel is known as one of the most haunted places in the entire world. But its Gothic aura is not just about its architecture. The building originally functioned as an advanced medical facility that included a hospital, psychiatric offices, and in the basement, a full morgue. Today's guests report phenomena that defy all explanation, elevators that stop on non-existent floors, or that go down to the basement without anyone pressing the button. It is said that the 12th floor, where the surgery rooms were located, is the epicenter of the activity, with visions of ghostly nurses and the smell of disinfectant appearing out of nowhere. Some visitors have woken up feeling invisible hands touching them or hearing distant screams that seem like echoes of former patients. It is a place where modern luxury mixes with the pain of the past, creating an atmosphere where the dead seem to still be seeking healing. The thin veil between life and death seems to vanish within these haunted and dark medical walls. Long before Roswell or Area 51, a small Texas town called Aurora experienced what could be the first documented extraterrestrial contact in 1897. According to newspapers of the time, a silver cigar-shaped airship crashed into a windmill on the property of Judge J.S. Proctor. The most shocking part was the discovery of the pilot, a being who was not of this world, described as small and with strange features. The townspeople, in an act of compassion, decided to bury the visitor in the local cemetery under a tombstone engraved with the design of his ship. Although many believe it was a hoax to attract tourism, modern investigations have found remains of unusual metals in the crash area. The original grave was stolen, and the body has never been recovered for DNA testing, leaving the question hanging in the air. Does a traveler from the stars lie beneath the Texas soil for more than a century? The mystery of Aurora remains one of the most intriguing cases of early ufology that the world has ever seen or heard. The legend of the Lady in White at White Rock Lake, Dallas, is perhaps the most classic ghost story in Texas. Since the 1930s, numerous drivers have reported picking up a beautiful young woman dressed in an elegant white evening gown on the side of the road. The young woman, who always seems to be soaking wet and disoriented, asks to be taken to an address on Gaston Avenue. During the journey, she remains silent, but upon reaching the destination and stopping the vehicle, the driver realizes with horror that the back seat is empty. Only a trace of water remains on the upholstery. When confused drivers knock on the door of the house, the residents usually sadly explain that their daughter drowned in the lake years ago. It is a cycle of eternal pain that seems to repeat itself over and over again, turning the lake into a place of melancholy where the past never quite says goodbye to the living. Many people still avoid driving near the lake on foggy nights, fearing they might be the next to pick up the wet girl. Near Denton, the old Alton Bridge, known locally as the Goatman's Bridge, is the setting for one of the darkest legends in the state. It is said that in the 1930s, a successful African-American goat farmer was lynched by the KKK on this bridge. However, when the killers looked down into the water to confirm his death, the body had vanished, leaving only an empty noose. Since then, it is said that the man transformed into a vengeful entity with a goat's head and a human body. Brave souls who dare to cross the bridge at night report the sound of hooves on the wood, lights that fail for no reason, and a massive figure lurking in the shadows. Some say that if you turn off your car lights and honk your horn 3 times, you summon his presence. The atmosphere in this place is so thick that even the most experienced paranormal investigators have fled at the sensation of being watched by something purely evil. The legend lives on as a dark reminder of a violent past that still haunts the lonely woods near the old bridge. Before we get into the top 3, if you're as passionate about these stories as I am, give this video a big like. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. It really helps me to keep investigating these enigmas for you. Now then, get ready, because what's coming next won't let you sleep at night. In the desert of West Texas, near the small town of Marfa, one of the most famous and baffling visual phenomena in the world occurs. The Marfa lights are luminous spheres that appear on the horizon, floating over the brush, changing color from yellow to red or blue, and moving in patterns that seem intelligent. They have been observed since 1883, long before automobiles or the power grid existed in the area. Scientists from prestigious universities have tried to explain them as headlight reflections, thermal mirages, or swamp gases, but no theory manages to explain how they can split in two or chase observers. What makes Marfa special is the consistency of the phenomenon. It is not something that happens once every decade, but almost every single night. Thousands of people have witnessed this dance of lights, but to this day, no one knows if they are an unknown geological phenomenon, spiritual energy, or something much more advanced watching us from the darkness. The desert keeps its secret, glowing mysteriously under the vast and silent Texas sky. On May 25, 1956, Texas witnessed one of the strangest and most frustrating disappearances in its history. Billy, 21, Robert, 14, and their cousin Dan, 18, left in a 1947 Ford for a drive through Jefferson County. They never returned. What makes this case so haunting is the scale of the disappearance. Not only did 3 people vanish, but also a metal vehicle weighing nearly 2 tons. Despite a massive search involving hundreds of volunteers, planes, and state police, not a single tire track, oil trace, or clue to their whereabouts was ever found. Lakes, forests, and swamps were searched without success. Decades have passed and the mystery remains intact. Were they victims of a perfect crime? Did they fall into a hidden sinkhole? Or did they simply decide to erase their lives? The void left by these 3 young men remains an open wound in the memory of Texas, a chilling reminder that the land can swallow someone without leaving a single trace. The car and the boys remain lost in time, hidden somewhere in the vastness of the state. We have reached the most disturbing mystery in Texas, the Killin Fields. This is a 25-acre marshy stretch along Interstate 45 between Houston and Galveston. Since the 1970s, the bodies of more than 30 women and girls have been recovered in this area. What makes this place so terrifying is not just the number of victims, but the fact that it does not appear to be the work of a single man. Investigators believe that multiple serial killers have used this desolate land as a private dumping ground over the years, knowing that the geography of the place makes the preservation of evidence extremely difficult. Although some crimes have been recently solved thanks to advances in DNA, the vast majority of these cases remain open, without suspects or answers. The Killin Fields are a monument to real-life horror, a place where evil feels palpable in the humid air and where the souls of many young women are still waiting for justice in the silence of the Texas swamps. It is a grim reminder that monsters are real and sometimes walk among us in the shadows. Texas is a place of infinite horizons, but as we've seen today, many of those horizons hold secrets that perhaps should never have been revealed. From the impossible tracks of the Paluxy River to the final breath in the Killin Fields, the question remains in the air. What else do these lands hide? If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Which of these mysteries did you find most unsettling? Or better yet, do you know of any other Texas secrets we might have forgotten? Remember, sometimes reality is much stranger than fiction. See you in the next mystery.